Fire that broke out following a strike by Ukrainian drones at a gas processing plant in Russia's Orenburg region has been ongoing for 2 days. Footage of the fire, captured by local residents, has been shared online. It should be noted that the incident occurred on the morning of October 19. Ukrainian kamikaze drones struck the gas processing plant, which is located 1,800 kilometers from the border. As a result, an explosion and fire occurred. The plant is one of the largest gas chemical complexes in the world. The Orenburg Gas Processing Plant is capable of processing up to 45 billion cubic meters of gas and more than 6 million tons of condensate per year. According to preliminary information, one of the gas processing and purification units was damaged, and explosions and large-scale fires were recorded at the site. The governor of the region, Yevgeny Solntsev, confirmed the reports of drone attacks on the facility and reported fire in its workshops. The drone strike halted the work of the Orenburg Gas Processing Plant. The facility suspended the intake of raw gas from the Karachaganak field in the West Kazakhstan region following the Ukrainian drone attack, Kazakhstan's Ministry of Energy said on Sunday. According to information from PJSC Gazprom, on October 19, 2025, an emergency situation occurred at the Orenburg Gas Processing Plant as a result of a UAV attack, due to which the fire that broke out following a strike by Ukrainian drones at a gas processing plant in Russia's Orenburg region has been ongoing for 2 days. Footage of the fire, captured by local residents, has been shared online. It should be noted that the incident occurred on the morning of October 19. Ukrainian kamikaze drones struck the gas processing plant, which is located 1,800 kilometers from the border. As a result, an explosion and fire occurred.
Охуеть, как там хуярит.
Ой, я отсюда аж тепло чувствую.
Охуеть, они въебали, да?
Active construction at the Engels 2 airbase in Russia's Saratov region indicates that Russia is preparing for new waves of missile strikes against Ukraine, according to Ukrainian intelligence. The main intelligence directorate, HUR, notes that this base is the source of these massive attacks. The Arata Special Forces Unit of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine announced the expansion of the Engels 2 airbase on its Telegram channel. Intelligence officers note that this base is the main hub of Russian strategic aviation from which missile carriers launch attacks on Ukraine. The main intelligence directorate reported that the occupiers are pouring concrete in the northern part of the airfield and preparing 12 new parking bays for Tu-95MS, Tu-160, Su-34 and Su-35 aircraft. Intelligence officials recalled that Ukrainian drones had previously struck Engels 2, destroying dozens of cruise missiles and fuel depots, with the explosions heard even by residents of the regional capital, Saratov. The active construction indicates that Russia is preparing for new waves of attacks. Ukraine needs to build up its own deep strike capabilities, drones, long-range missiles, and precision-guided weapons to preemptively strike such bases, the Special Forces Press Service noted. OSINT analyst Avi Vector posted satellite images of active construction at the Engels 2 airbase on October the 11th on X. He noted that concrete pouring had begun on the northern section of the apron, and on September the 30th, the same was happening on the southern section. The Russians plan to build 12 parking spaces and connect them with the rest of the airbase via taxiways. The airbase, which houses strategic bombers, is located 700 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Avi Vector explained that the Russian armed forces will receive 12 new bomber parking areas, which will be connected to the rest of the airbase via taxiways. Another OSINT researcher, Stefan B2023, added that the Russians had already hatched plans to expand the airbase in 2016 after a major overhaul. He said work began in March 2025. The taxiways will connect at a notional intersection. He indicated in a satellite image. The taxiways will form a large circle and connect to the areas marked in yellow. Stefan B2023 wrote, "It's worth noting that Engels 2 is a Russian airbase in the Saratov region of Russia, from which strategic bombers launch missile strikes against Ukrainians. The airbase is designed to accommodate Tu-95 aircraft, capable of launching 6 to 8 Kh-101 missiles, and Tu-160 aircraft, capable of launching approximately 12 Kh-101s. These bombers participated in the massive strikes. Now the expectation is that Ukraine will launch devastating strikes with missiles and drones on Engels 2 airbase. This is also important for protecting Ukrainian cities from attacks." A fierce defensive operation by the Ukrainian Defense Forces continues in the Pokrovsk sector. Russian troops are suffering colossal losses while attempting to break into the city, according to the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. The approaches to Pokrovsk are becoming another vast cemetery for the Russian army. Thousands of occupiers are being liquidated on the outskirts of the city and in nearby villages, the military said. According to headquarters in Pokrovsk itself, the fight against enemy sabotage groups continues as they continue their attempts to gain a foothold in the city. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine noted that in such conditions, the work of Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicle operators and counter-sabotage groups is especially important. Commanders of the Russian 255th Motorized Rifle Regiment send soldiers to supposedly safe positions, but they understand that Ukrainian troops have entrenched their positions there. Consequently, the occupiers find themselves under fire from Ukrainian forces with no option to retreat. This tactic by Russian commanders allows them to avoid a mutiny among the personnel, as no direct order to launch a massive assault was given. According to I Want to Find, survivors are being beaten and tortured. The Russians are sending pensioners and even disabled people to the battlefield. One prisoner admitted that only 3 of his 20-man group survived. This demonstrates a violation of the laws of war and leads to catastrophic losses. Similar situations are observed in other units of the Russian army. However, the Russian command is satisfied with everything. According to the Ukrainian project, soldiers of the 255th Regiment continue to conduct assaults, and reinforcements from Russia are arriving regularly. The names of nearly 900 killed occupiers from the 255th Motorized Rifle Regiment of the Russian Armed Forces have surfaced on the I Want to Find project. According to the project, in just 1.5 years, 769 people were officially declared missing in action in the fighting in the Pokrovsk direction. This also shows that the Russians are fleeing the battles and some are surrendering. The General Staff noted that Ukrainian defenders are conducting both stabilization and counter-sabotage measures, as well as active defense operations in the Pokrovsk district. This applies specifically to Pokrovsk itself and its surrounding areas. In total, during the operation, which has been ongoing since August the 21st, the Ukrainian Defense Forces have liberated 182.8 square kilometers of territory in the Pokrovsky district from Russian occupiers. Another 230.1 square kilometers have been cleared of enemy sabotage and reconnaissance groups. Ukrainian soldiers neutralized at least 13,945 Russian invaders, including 8,402 irreparable losses, 5,419 wounded, 124 captured. The Russian army also lost 1,289 units of weapons and military equipment, 32 tanks, 101 combat armored vehicles, 154 artillery systems, 5 multiple launch rocket systems, 435 vehicles, 562 motorized vehicles, and more than 4,000 drones.